All right, so like Cecilia did mention, we're going to try to make this as much interactive as possible. So it's going to be more of a discussion than more of a training, and I believe we should be able to learn from each other. So if you got any question, then you can ask, or if you got any contributions, feel free to jump in and then give your contribution. So this is the first training here for the representative of United Pan Africanist Movement. So we are going to try to make sure we carry out, at least as requested. If you all want us to do more than one session a year, we can do like 2 sessions, or 1 or 2 sessions per year for the starts right now. And I hope this will be productive. If it's not productive, please let us know where we can make adjustments. Again, like I said, we'll send a survey after this training, and then you all can write. You don't need to write your name on the survey. You can just put it up and then send it to us, and then so that we can make adjustments as is needed, if at all it doesn't productive. But our goal is to make sure that by the end of the training, you should have some clue on how you can be a successful leader, and of course a representative as well, and making your country become successful. So we will start here with the summary of who a representative should be, what we require of you all. So again, if we read through the summary, we realize that we did mention that the United Pan Africanist Movement country representative position is a very important and a core position in UPAM. So this role determines the success of UPAM mission and vision in various countries around the world. So you are actually a main pillar, for the success of UPAM in various countries. If we must succeed in every country, you are the main stakeholder in that country to make sure that UPAM is successful. So the incumbent must be up to task, understand the role, and possesses some basic skills, knowledge, and leadership experience. However, not everybody have got that, so that's why we are here on this training, so that we can be able to empower you with some leadership skills, some other experience, and activities, and of course anything that will help to to help you successful. So UPAM believes that the change in Africa has to start from us, who are holding important roles of this movement. Selflessness, putting the African people first, is UPAM foundation. The African dream, pretty much, again, try to build that. We must love, respect, and stay positive despite the challenges. Success, we must support, encourage, and think, critically. Challenge the system, hard work, and good mindsets. So again, these are some of the basic rules that, if you become a successful, reps, we should be able to be looking into. We have to stay positive. We have to respect each other. You have to be a typical example of the designs of people that you want to lead. Down here, a country representative is responsible for implementation of UPAM strategy, policy, and projects in the country. Well, of course. So, and then integration of people, organizations, business, and blank ethnicity. He or she is responsible of promoting peace and unity and economic prosperity of the people in that country. Must defend UPAM constitution, be accountable for the movement and all its subsidiaries. Therefore, expected to plan and align all programs, service, and opportunities, collaborative, and report to Representative Council weekly through the Speaker of the House. Does anyone have any question on this summary? All right. So I'll hand over to Titila here, who's going to start with some leadership styles and conflict management. So Titila, want to pick over?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. So everyone, please unmute yourself. Okay. Now feel free to unmute yourself. So next slide, please. Okay. What is a leadership? We all have a definition of what a leadership should be, should include, what it looks like. Okay, so in this slide here, there's like an example from different people, black and white, of what their leadership is. So each of every one of us, one of the spec of leadership might even be here or might not be here at all. But one thing is certain, and we've always heard it time and time again, look yourself at the mirror. You need to start with you. Are you more of a leadership or are you more of a follower? Like leadership is not for everyone. We just need to bear in mind that it's okay not to be one, but it's also good for you to have your own definition and not for everyone to give you a definition of what it is. Because at the end of the day, as a leader, you have your own mindset and your own thinking. And as our chairman actually said it earlier, like we're here for the African dream. You need to be selfless. Because remember, as a leadership, if the benefit is solely yours, you're not benefiting anybody. Do you all agree or disagree? Please open up and tell me, who do you agree with out of these four people and who do you disagree? So popcorn style, feel free to omit yourself. If you feel that your background is noisy, just stay mute. Anyone? Anybody at all? Nobody have their own pro and con with this definition? Do you all don't have your own definition? Feel free to mute yourself.
Come again, the question,
So the question is, do you agree with any of this definition, which they are from black and white, or do you have your own definition of leadership?
No, it's okay. I'm agree. Thank you.
The definition is okay.
Which one do you agree with? Who said that definition is okay?
That was Luther, but we have Kamara hands up.
Okay, but wait, let's start with Luther, then we'll go to Kamara. Luther, which definition do you deem okay?
I agree with the first definition that leadership is influence.
Okay, and why?
In most cases, we have seen people who are in the position to influence others actually end up in leadership positions because they are trusted.
Okay.
And they have a skill of leading others to do something when they are on the forefront. So when you say leadership is influence, I absolutely agree with you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Luther. And Mr. Kamara, your answers are?
Yeah, good afternoon. Happy New Year to each and every one of us. Obviously, I choose two.
Yeah,
Upright. Two. Can you hear me?
Yes, now we can hear you.
Okay. Bill Gates' definitions for leadership, I think, in my opinion, it is the most accepted one. As we look ahead into the next century, leaders will be those who empower others. As a good leader is supposed to create the platform, the enabling environments, the ideal environments to empower others. It will not discourage others. You have to create the platform, the enabling environments, people to follow you in a very positive way. Yes, in my opinion, Bill Gates' definition is very, very good and it fits for purpose within the context of UPAM. It's the type of leadership we have to follow.
The Kamara, you just have to choose two. It's not a monotone. Keep it pushing. There are also other people talking that would like to contribute as well. So just be considerate, please.
I'm considerate. Thank you very much. That's Bill Gates' definition. I accept it.
Okay, and you were saying also Oprah definition. Why Oprah? Just keep it short, please.
It's still with me. Upright definition.
Okay, Mr. Rhino.
Yeah, me, I take the last one. We are saying the leadership is most of people, they are fear to become a leadership. And for me, what I can add is only that sometimes we are like a leaders, but we didn't want to save. You know, if you're a leader, you can be a good example for others. Just save the people. Leader means that now people can save you, but you can save them because you are a leader. You become a servant of them.
Thank you very much. And Mr. Luamba.
Thank you for the floor, Madam.
Teacher, that's fine. Teacher, that's fine.
Person. I'm happy to take this training. Thank you. And at the beginning, I can see is wonderful. Yeah, I have a question about the fourth definition about leadership. Leadership is influence. The verb to influence. I would like to know deeply the meaning of influence. To influence. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. So far I can see we had a lot of influence. So a lot of people actually agree with John Maxwell, and kind of everybody have their own peak, almost Bill Gates and Oprah, and also Mr. Steve Harvey. Interesting. Ben, next slide, please. So. Ben. Okay, thank you very much. So in terms of
the old one or what?
Yeah, I was like, I can change it. I can amend it. Oh, one moment. Mr. Clement, yes, your answer's up. Mr. Clement?
McDonough, you can unmute yourself.
Okay, thanks for the opportunity. I would like to say, as for the document that was posted yesterday, going through it, I noticed that it is based on the principles based on business. And I would want to say, I think that is a proper approach, because whatever we do, we will have to think of how we finance our program. And basing it on a business principle, meaning it would be easily adapted into the old frame of what is happening. If everybody do business, and it's the way of reaching our goal, of earning, of putting things in place. You see, we are volunteering here, and it for me, for example, it's pressing on my time, because I am active man. I do a lot of activity, and it takes a lot of my time, pressing the time. So I would want to say, for UPAM to employ professionals, then we would have to think of paying them in simple language. volunteering will get you proper person, but not necessarily professionals, because professionals are really busy people who are active seeking family needs and fulfilling family needs and so on. So making it of a business type of organization, which we would definitely be the way to go. Thank you.
So in everything that I've heard you, but you've not stated which one you feel that is much appropriate, and you've not defined it. I understand the critic though.
No, I'm not hearing you clearly.
Sorry.
Can you repeat for me, please?
Sorry, I was saying I understand the critic that you just gave, but I still do not, like, you've not shared your definition of leadership, which is what we wanted.
Well, that's just my opinion, of course. I would want to understand yours.
Okay, no worries. Mr. Kamara, your hand is up.
Yes, I'm still under leadership. You can go there, leadership. That's Mr. Bill Gates' definition and that of Oprah's definition. So there are some similarities which I will try now to decipher and to give clear meaning and understanding in my own context of these two definitions. Definitely, as a good leader, as Bill Gates already explained, would be those who empower others. When you are trying to empower others, there comes in the definition of Oprah's. It should not be fear. It should not be fear to be a failure or successes. Definitely, empowering others, creating the platform, empowering others. It should not be a fear of you. Yes, as a good leader, you should not be afraid of creating that enabling environment, staying in future, empowering another person to become more powerful. That individual will serve as an antagonist to me. Definitely, a good leader should not be thinking this way. Background is too noisy. A good leader should not be thinking this way. Should not be afraid of failure in future. You have to know that whatever you are doing, definitely failure should not be serving as an impediment. It's supposed to serve as something, a stimulant that will stimulate in you to do more. Yes, that's why, in my opinion, Bill Gates' definition and that of Oprah's definitions, there are some similarities, which, because of time, I don't have time to further explicate or explain these two definitions.
Well, remember,
but
Mr. Kamara, remember, over here we're asking for definition. We're not asking keep the mic for dear life, because we have a whole presentation to go through. So the only reason why I'm asking for this training to be interactive, so you keep your own definition, and then you also understand why I asked for it and going forward. This is not an interrogation in class of you need to write an essay on what it is. It's just so we have a clear mind that we all have a different perspective of what leadership should be. I hope this actually so you understand why we're here, because we're gonna
that is it. I'm trying now to conclude. Definitely, Oprah's definition and Bill Gates' definition.
You were clear. You were very, very clear. So going forward, Mr. Sherman, next slide. We understand that in terms of leadership, we have many kinds of leadership: authoritarian leadership, participative leadership, delegative leadership, transactional, and transformational. So in all this, bear in mind still your own definition of leadership. There's no right or wrong, mind you, there's no right or wrong. It's what is more suitable and what's more appropriate for either an organization, your school project, your club, your school club on a daily basis. So we are very much familiar with the authoritative leadership, okay? And now, what are the con and pro of an authoritative authoritarian leadership. Yeah. So these are the advantages and the disadvantages. So already within Africans or African descents, we already know that authoritarianism is not our favorites. We feel quite oppressed, we don't like it. And I'm sure within this context and this group alone, we have more than required disadvantages that we are very much familiar on a daily basis compared to the advantages of it. Mind you, there are also some countries that flourish into like within such leadership. But of course, it's very structural. Mistakes in the whatever plans is going from up, down instead of down, up. So there's little to not say, but you can read it as if one or two people can come forward to say shortly what you actually think about this authoritarian leadership. But it has to be short and brief because this training has to be very short because we're already starting late. So do only two people come forward and actually say, what do they think about it? Not how to define it, what they think about it. Short and sweet. And that's too forward. We're still in the first one.
It's on the first one? Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. Next, the first one. Yeah.
Okay.
We need two people to come forward to actually speak up their mind, but it has to be short and sweet. Mr. Vino.
Okay. Still, I know you mean that now you want us to become to explain about the advantage of disadvantage.
Sorry, come again.
I'm not aware. I understand the question. You say you need two people to come up. I don't know whether to give more to clear writing or more about advantage of disadvantage. What do you mean?
So what I'm asking, two people to come forward to speak their opinion on this authoritative leadership. It has to be short and sweet. We don't need to hold the mic for dear life.
Okay.
Okay, so now we have yourself and Mr. Hussein. I don't know what happened, Mr. Hussein. What do you think about this kind of leadership?
Okay. Can I
yeah.
What? Mr. Tidra, can I go forward?
Can you speak your opinion?
Can you talk about authoritarian? What do you know? What do you think about authoritarian leadership?
Yeah, I'm asking people, what do you think? You see it now, in front of you, you have advantages and disadvantages. Now that you can see it with your own definition of leadership, what do you think? That's all I'm asking. It has to be short and sweet. I'm not asking essay. I'm not asking keep the mic for dear life. It has to be short and sweet. Mr. Luther, please come forward. I see your hand is up. Unmute yourself. Mr. Luther.
Oh.
So I did say two people.
Can you unmute yourself? It looks like you. Okay, there you go.
I said
can you hear me?
Now,
yes, we can
hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now all right. With this leadership style, if
Mr. Luther,
the leader who is authoritarian and take then much. If this is kind of like dictatorial, so someone takes a decision and just uses the authority to decide. And if that kind of leader is very smart in taking decisions, smart decisions, then it can reduce the the bureaucracy and development is guaranteed at a faster pace. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Luther. That's just, you get the assignment. Mr. Vino?
Yeah, for me, leadership is just like you have to have your self-esteem and believe yourself, and then be influenced. And you also supposed to know that if you're leadership, you must meet different people also who came with different ideas, and then also you're supposed to be also aware about that. And for those as a leadership, you're also going to meet those people who came with the emotional and personal things like that, and then you also be a one who's supposed to be encourage yourself, and then you also have always be as a person straightforward, and then you always try to find always the solution.
Okay. Gotcha. Thank you very much. Sorry, Ben, the next slide, please. So, participative leadership. So here is an advantage and disadvantage of such leadership, okay? Please take your time, read it through, because pretty much if you want, I can just read for you like the advantages of a participative one, that it's pretty much egalitarian, okay? Everybody has a say, everybody has one vote. Only because we assign a leader to someone does not mean that that leader has an absolute say on everything, okay? So it actually creates a stronger bond. We are all confident on our skills and what we bring forward, because productivity will be high. At least that's what we like. We like it when you put in effort, you see results, and we are all happy because we all agree that's what we wanted. On the flip side, decision might be time consuming because we'll be taking more time in deciding what has to be done. Not everyone's capability of, let's say, not everyone's ability or skills might be at the same level. And not everybody, just the skill set overall might not be the same. And transparency might be 50-50. But communication might actually fail because we take so time in taking decision. Now, having this kind of leadership, participative leadership, and having your own definition of leadership, my question is, what do you all think about it? I'm asking 2 people to come forward. Raise your hand, and you have to be short and sweet.
Hello, good morning.
I said 2 people to come forward. Raise your hand. It has to be short and sweet. Mr. Hussein, your hand is up.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening from Egypt.
Yep.
First of all, I would like to say 99% of the human being around the world, they are able to lead and they are leaders. Their problem is that they don't believe in their power that they can lead.
All right.
Leadership is different because leadership. So we have like a temporary leadership, which happen in situation. For example, like if you stuck with your car and you have kind of like, so some people come around your car and they don't know how to help you. So one of them say, okay, let's push the car, put it aside. This is kind of leadership, but it comes at once on the situation. Leadership is so much to cut it short in the topic we are talking about. We minimize science of the leadership. Leadership is science. First of all, leadership means that you have the influence and the power to make the people agree. It's not power to make the people follow. You have the power to make the people agree about your opinion and to get their support, the support from the people. This is leadership in any situation. I
Mr.
don't think in
Hussein,
UPAM.
Mr. Hussein,
Yes, sir.
you're
Yes.
going beyond. Right now, we're talking about participative leadership. Okay, we are going through different styles of leadership at the moment. So I am asking each and every one of you question quite specific, which are the following. I just spoke about participative leadership. In front of you, you have advantages and disadvantages. Okay, now you have your own definition of leadership. I'm asking, what do you think of this specific kind of leadership? That is my question. And
Leadership.
I'm also asking, what do you think about precisely me narrowing it down? What do you think about participative leadership? You have to be short and sweet. I'm not asking you, Mr. Hussein, what do you think about leadership? Now, I am asking you, we're talking about participative leadership. What do you think about that kind of leadership? Withstanding your own kind of leadership? That is my question. I'm not asking generic. Mine is pretty specific.
Okay. Let's say this kind of leadership is to make the people agree about kind of target and to lead and process this target as a leader, supported by your supporter or by the people who you have an influence on them to reach your target.
Okay. Do you think participative can reach target in an appropriate time?
My target or my leadership to which target I'm leading the people, for example, at the moment. Okay. I'm sorry, because I'm in the street, I am not in the office, so I'm listening so disturbed from outside.
Okay, no worries. Don't worry then. I will pass on to someone else. Don't worry, just take your time.
Okay, until I reach a quiet place.
Sure. Mr. Elao, sorry, I don't want to.
Elao Dangunja.
Yes. I'm unable to decide if it's a he or she. I don't want to be disrespectful. Your hand is up. The floor is yours.
Dangunja, can you hear us? I guess not. So I don't know.
Mr. Kamara.
That's the second time you put your hand up. So.
Mr. Kamara, the floor is yours.
Yeah, this type of leadership, obviously, it's a very good type of leadership, participatory leadership. That is increases or is given more powers to other people, grassroots per se, participating actively. But sometimes the flip side, you can see there are the disadvantages, the bottleneck, so much of consultations, involvement, slow pace in decision making most time. Yes, these are some of the disadvantages. The advantages are many. You can create the platform for other people to participate actively in decision making. Inclusivity, it is there. People will come to make their inputs, to participate in decision making. Accountability also, it is within this type of leadership, very, very more essential. But the hallmark of it here is time-consuming consultations, a lot of expenditure to get involved, each and every one when the need arises.
Okay.
Very, very expensive type of leadership.
Gotcha. Thank you. Ben, you're far from the computer.
Yo, what?
Next slide, please.
Okay.
Yeah, delegative leadership. Well, I think we're all familiar with that kind of leadership of I think this is mostly tech companies that have this kind of leadership. Might be that the CEO is not a tech person, but for all people around them are very knowledgeable. And they'll be like, you know what, I feel that this is your own skill. you can work best in this department. This is your skill. You can work best in this department. So it's very coordinative kind of leadership. And he'll know how to tackle each person's potential and to make sure they actually get an objective done. Now, only because the objective is done does not mean that the leadership has to pressure that kind of person to make sure the job is done, but they'll actually trust in that person that they'll know that they'll get the objective done. Can you just imagine, like, you have your own company and you don't know anything about it, but all people around you know more than you do. But the target is not missed, it's actually been hit. On the other hand, what if the person is unreliable? What if the person become unresponsive? What if the person overall is not good at their job? What would you do? You as a leader, you should be able to then recognize it. So that could be, time and time again, I struggle to find this kind of leadership in Africa. But I do find it, I see it quite often in other companies. I need 2 people to come forward to actually tell me if they'll actually encounter this kind of leadership, and what do they think of this leadership? Remember, 2 people, it has to be short and sweet. We can all read the slides. That's the main purpose. I make the slide that everybody can read it and understand it. So do anyone want to come forward and share their mind, pretty much? How do you encounter this leadership, and what do you think of this leadership? We need 2 people. Now, I'm sure we are 16 people in here, and it's not only Mr. Kamara that's giving, reading, and regurgitating everything that's already written, but we also have people already within us here that can actually contribute.
I want to hear from hello
Is it hello? Yeah. Come forward.
Let's hear from you, please. Let me ask the individual to unmute themselves. Maybe they'll get to know. Sometimes the names maybe will not pronounce it properly. So
yeah, I definitely already butchered the name. Sorry, it's not the intention. No. So like, this is the 3rd leadership style. We are almost finished with the leadership.
Hello. Okay. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, how are you?
Doing well, doing well. Would like to know your thoughts.
Yeah, first of all, can you pronounce the name properly for us, please? And then what country and what your position, please? Because I don't think we ever met.
Yes, my name is Helao. Helao Ndakonja.
Okay, great.
I'm from Namibia.
Oh, perfect.
Yes, and as a secretary to UPAM.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, here in Namibia.
Okay, go ahead now. Thank you.
All right. I also wanted to participate, and I was somehow not being. I cannot be heard. I don't know what was happening, and for now, I can go for a delegative leadership style.
Yeah.
Yeah. The way I understand this one is about a relationship of behavior, of approach, whereby leader empower individual to exercise an autonomy or something.
Yeah, that's
whereby
right.
you are giving a directive to your followers. You are giving them responsibility of what to do and what not to do. That's how I understand delegating leadership style.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
No, absolutely. The fact that you actually came forward, you actually said this is what you understood. It's perfect. So it's pretty much, let's say you are good at coding, okay? If I know that you are good at coding, I'm going to give you an organization skill or label. I'm like, if you're good at coding, then you can actually program me a website. And I will know that you do that. You don't even need me to come and be looking for you. You have to say, when is that done? Or you tell me, well, if it's coding and it's a website, then I know that I can get it done by tomorrow, 12 o'clock in the afternoon. Whereas I'm like, instead of me to know that, okay, you're coding, and I'll tell you, you know what, I would like you to grow me a leaf. You'd be like, where do I begin? I'm clueless, I don't know. So do you understand? That is the kind of delegative leadership. I'm like, okay, I see that you're good at something, then I'll give you total autonomy, and you'll be the one telling me, giving me the time scale. But we've been once or twice in that situation that we don't even know what we're doing. Most likely we Google it or we watch YouTube. Hopefully we actually understand what is it that we have to do. But even at that, we forget that there's a first time for everybody. So you then feel free, by the way, I am not too good or I'm not too confident at it. Then that's when you say, well, I think I require more training on this. You get where I'm coming from. I hope this actually is useful for everyone. And Mr. Kamara, the floor is yours.
Yeah, obviously delegative type of leadership. In my opinion, I believe it is based on professionalism. Sometimes if I'm to give clear meaning of it by saying it overlaps by saying autonomous and semi-autonomous type of leadership. Yes, it's a melting pot like. Therein, most time the leaders normally concentrate on looking on your professionalism, your area of specialization, then they can give you the responsibility for you to execute the duty. Failing to do it professionally, meaning the leader, the head of that institution will demote you because it is based on something that is based on purely on professionalism before ever you will be appointed to be the head of that department or to be the head of that area. Yes. So this type of leadership obviously is based on professionalism. It's a professionalism type of leadership. It's a melting pot, which, yes, it's a melting pot where I can define it or give it clear meaning by saying autonomous and that of a semi-autonomous type of leadership in a simple context.
That's perfect. I feel that we all kind of have like a fair understanding. Is anybody right now that did not understand it or has not understood any of it so far? Please write your question down, and we might just go through it at the end of this segment. Okay. Ben, next slide, please. Thank you. So transactional leadership. So I think within our continent, we are very much familiar with the transactional leadership. It's like a win-lose or win-win situation. So an example of this will be the most obvious one that comes to our mind is China and Nigeria. So China will come through and say, well, I can get you your road fixed. And Nigeria will say, oh, right. Okay, if you can get it fixed, then that's good to me. But the win-win is if this accord is actually been done properly. Flip side, if it was going to take them at least 15 years. So the leadership there and there is transactional overall. It's not always perfect. So over here, we can see the advantages. Leaders become specific and measurable in time. So you have to bear in mind, if we actually say we agree on something, it has to be done and it has to be very specific. Of course, a best case scenario, productivity and increase will be high, and that is what we like to hear. And we then eliminate the third party, any third party that actually obstruct the system overall, and we actually implement the parts that we like the most. So just as we are following this segment, are there two people? Please, now Mr. Kamara, we've heard you. We have 16 people so far. or 14 people so far that can come up, and we just need 2 that to actually express their opinion. What do they think about this transaction leadership, and how can they use it within your own organization, if they like it or not? So raise your hand and come up. Like, or just unmute yourself. Remember 2. If there are more than 2, or then Naomi, please unmute yourself.
Okay, good evening.
Good evening.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, from what I understand about transactional, right? Transactional type of leadership. Usually it is called managerial leadership style. It has harsh punishment, rewards, like you just said, high supervision. Usually it emphasizes more in organizational performance. This type of leadership is the kind of leadership that was used during the industrial revolution. So according to my own understanding, it's not the kind of leadership that emphasizes on organizational missions and visions, because it doesn't motivate employees. It's only rewards and goal-oriented only. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much, Naomi. Is there anyone else that would like to come forward and actually speak about their understanding and how best is being used, or how can you use it, whether you like it or you don't like it? Mr. Luam, oh, who's there?
Hello, good morning.
Oh, yeah, good morning. Good evening.
My name is Kush.
Hi, Kush.
Been listening for a while. My opinion on leadership is that a
We are
leader
actually speaking about transactional leadership, whether you like it, you don't like it, with how it's been used, how it's not been used.
Okay, I just joining in, but
Well,
me,
you've been joining from the start of the conversation. We're not asking you about what you think about leadership or what it is. We're asking you about this transactional leadership in particular.
I'm not hearing you clearly.
So I'm asking you, what do you think about transactional leadership? I'm not asking you what you think about what leadership should be.
What's transactional leadership?
Yeah, that's what we are talking about at the moment.
Okay, I didn't get that part.
Okay. Is anyone would like to contribute anything about transactional leadership, what they think? Mr. Luamba?
Yeah, thank you for the floor, madam.
Sure.
According to me, this transactional leadership is, I can say it's the best at the beginning of an organization. For example, in UPAM, we have representatives, and we have also executives.
Okay.
And there are some decisions which comes from the executives, and others executives to representatives, and representatives to local, let me say, leaders at the national level. Now, at the beginning, since the situation is not well, let me say, taken, well defined. So we can encourage, I can support. This can be the good one. But when the problems are known, the obstacles to actions are known, this can lead us to participative leadership. So we go from the beginning, we give guidelines, we give lines to follow, plans, and when there are obstacles, challenges, we come back. When we come back, we tackle the participative, we apply the participative leadership. So this is the best at the beginning.
All right. Gotcha.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Luther, afterwards, because we're just about to go through the last kind of leadership, which is going to be the transformational leadership. Next slide, please. Ben. Thank you very much. So this is the transformational leadership, and the best way for me to actually give you an idea of what the transformational leadership is like the cult. Okay, the churches that they are able to get a low turnover rate, but the vision of the leader overall is highly regarded and highly valued, and that will keep up the morale for everybody and the motivation. But sometimes it could be also like the followers might use coercive measures to justify the leadership vision. Okay, and so that is not, no matter how, it might look good at start, but it's not consistent. Like it might, like the violence might be consistent, but it's not, does not give you good resolution. And as a disadvantage is you might just have people hurt, which is not what you want. The motivation itself might not even be consistent, because we then follow the humor and the mood of the leader, and that is not what you want. You don't want to be dependent on just one person and one person's vision, and only because the person might be highly regarded does not necessarily mean it actually has your best interest at heart. So you just have to bear in mind in terms of transformational leadership. We are also very familiar with what this leadership can do with the arms, and the benefits are very, very low. So, Mr. Nwamba, I see that you raised up your hand. You're pretty much very fast. What do you think about it?
Thank you, madam. I'm sorry, because when I was talking talking about delegative leadership. I would like to.
No, you went from one to another. You went.
Yeah, I was talking about delegative leadership. That is the precision I wanted to bring.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Okay, no worries. So what about the transformational leadership? Would you like to contribute what you like, what you don't like about it? Because I already have Mr. Vino hands up. Mr. Vino, please go ahead.
Oh, yes, madam. The transformation leadership, for me, it's like, especially, the political party, for example. These people are just like, look at those people like called like innocent people, the people on the ground.
Yeah.
And then the people on the ground, and then I go with my agenda there.
Right.
And then transform those people, and then I'm going to tell them what's going to do, and then I just only to explain what's going to be, and then those people just only agree. They are not even understanding. They are not even make evaluated and so on. So is this what I'm understanding? Just to transform somebody from another position to another position, but sometimes this person not have a reason why he's there. So what I'm trying to understand is, thank you.
Thank you very much. You kind of have like a great idea of what that comes with. Mr. Hello, please, the floor is yours. You can now mute yourself. That's
Okay.
good. Okay, much better. You're there.
I would like to add also.
Sure.
Only that I'm kind of busy.
That's fine. We can hear you. We can hear you.
I'm in a farmer. Can you hear me very well because of the wind, maybe?
Yes, sir. We can hear you.
Okay. So for me, I would like to add on that transactional leadership. The transactional leadership is a kind of leadership where there is a lot of roles. It's having, let me say, you have to supervise, you have to organize, and it's a full of range of leadership model. Yeah, to be you have to have a multi task. You don't just go for one, but you have to be a leader and promote all other party by following your looking back to your followers. That's how I understand also that transactional leadership. Hello?
Yes, I can hear you. So
you get me?
Yes, I get you.
All right.
For this transformation leadership overall, like you have a lot of followers, okay? And you make sure that your followers do your bidding, and they don't even understand what you're talking about, what your vision is. And mind you, they only follow because they're, in this case, they're unable to actually chip in any kind of feedback, or whether the feedback is positive or negative. The person that actually says that it's negative will have the bad end of the stick, which means they might just be attacked. Hence why that is not the most reliable one out of all of them. So next slide, please. Or she's out. Oh, sorry. Next slide. Yeah, thank you. So now that we have actually stated the kind of leadership overall, the 5 styles of leadership, now leadership and conflict goes hand in hand. So the kind of leadership you actually choose to be, or that you are naturally, will then reflect on the kind of conflict and the kind of resolution you're capable of giving. And over here, we also have a definition of conflict and conflict overall, which is the key management skill involved using different tactics depending on the situation, negotiation, and creative thinking. With properly managed conflict, and an organization is able to minimize interpersonal issues, enhance client satisfaction, and produce better business outcome. So in this place, like we actually use the business model, because in business you actually meet more people and you negotiate with more people. Now within UPAM, we tend to speak to different kind of people, different kind of cultures with different kind of behavior and different kind of conflict and background overall. So I felt that was a different another thing to take note of. Next slide, please. Thank you. So over here, we can see that we have also 5 conflict styles, like accommodating, avoiding, compromising, competing, and collaboration. Now, I would like everyone to unmute themselves and tell me, what kind of conflict style are you? And why? Just these 2. Or you choose one of these and why? Please just feel free to unmute yourself. So far, we've not heard anything from Ms. Cecilia. We've not heard anything from Mr. Mazaza or Mr. Rufaro. I've not heard your voice at all. Feel free to unmute yourself and to share.
Okay, so Mazaza here.
Yeah.
I was just listening because I felt it was more for the country representatives, so I didn't want to say much. But given a chance, like on this one, in terms of conflict styles that I use, actually I use a mixed bag depending on different situations. I think in conflict you really need to understand the stakeholders and how they react to things, and then you can decide which one is going to bring a win-win situation in terms of the style to use. So I wouldn't use just one of these. There are others that you just need to avoid. And then in certain ways, compromising would mean really a give and take, so that at the end of the day, everybody feels that they've at least taken something home at the end of that conflict. Competing, there would be certain situations where so you really say, okay, there is this cake. Even if you're getting 50 of it, it could happen out of a competition. Otherwise, maybe you would have gotten only 20% instead of a 50%. Collaboration is works also well in line with the compromising. So you need to join forces, maybe for a common goal at the end of that conflict.
Okay.
So I use different styles for different situations or different stakeholders.
So you actually state stakeholders, but in this case, it's not business. You actually, your stakeholders in this case is everyone that is actually your comrade, and one comrade against another. Which one of this would you lean to the most?
If it's comrade.
Comrade, yeah.
Okay. For comrade, mostly you would go for collaboration and accommodating, and also a bit of a compromise.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mazaza. Anyone, feel free to mute yourself and actually state. Mr. Clement, Mr. Rufaro, yeah, please unmute yourself and tell us your conflict style.
Accommodating is, I think, main aspect of leadership, because a leader should be accommodating others and providing backup and skill to assist others in developing themselves. So accommodation is what I think is a main area of leadership.
So
the main area of leadership.
We are speaking about conflict resolution, though. In terms of conflict resolution style, which of these 5 would you choose? We're not saying that as a leader, you have to be stiff and you don't have to accommodate other people. But in terms of, let's say, within the Jamaican group, and you see that they are going at it, they are at it at that moment, which style would you use?
No, but are we not talking about accommodating?
No. We actually have, it's called conflict style. So there's accommodating, avoiding, compromising, competing, and collaboration.
Yes, and that's what I'm saying. Accommodating is a key area where a leader accommodating others would resolve conflict in a sense that you would sit and you would listen to the person, and then you gain an understanding in which you give your leadership skills too, and then you would avoid further conflict by doing so.
Oh, okay. Okay, no worries. Mr. Vino?
Yeah, madam, I'm just choose to avoid it. It's a
Why?
conflict style. Yeah, how to avoid. You know, in the leadership, we have a lot of things which involve and like a bad influence. And these things to avoid it, you're supposed to be always be vigilant, and then always be a watch, and also be a guy always be the solution finder. Always get the solution, because so that you can avoid those things come to be destroy the leadership. Always be have a solution, because if you didn't have a solution, you cannot avoid anything. This is how can we have a leadership. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Waino. Ms. Cecilia?
Okay, just Cecilia. Cecilia is okay, Cecilia. I use accommodating conflict style. Because then it just enables you to accommodate everybody, because in a conflict there's two parties to a conflict, there's two sides to each story. So you just need to accommodate the both parties and make them feel that you understand everybody, because you wouldn't really know where each and everybody is coming from for them to be involved in that conflict. So accommodating makes a lot of sense for me, and it's what I use.
Okay, thank you very much. Next
Right.
slide, please. So normally during a conflict, we always know whether it's face-to-face or it's online or it's messaging. So first thing is to stay calm, because as a leader, you either go to listen and you don't want to be at it, but even when you are at it, you just degenerate the situation. And believe me, I've been in both end of it, and the situation is not nice. It gets really ugly real quick. So another thing is, do not take sides, because you need to listen. So you don't have to be having you don't have to be prejudiced against one person against the other and vice versa. And first of all, you need to listen to everything that's been said to you from start to finish. Ask for the why, the what, the when, the how, because they'll be like, oh, well, he provoked me, but how? In what way? And you might actually hear the most ridiculous excuses being told to you in that side, but you just have to listen to it. So you have to just be neutral. Don't show much emotion. Just be strict about your question. Even if you have the same questions to both parties, you'll be amazed on the response you will get. And then identify the problem overall. But while identify, don't say anything. Just keep a poker face overall. So without them having the opportunity to actually say, oh no, you're in support of this, but you're here telling me this. No, just keep it straight to the point. Try to get to a common goal. If there's any kind of way you can get to a common goal. Review everything that was stated, and actually make sure that is correct, like in front of everyone. Just say, well, we're not here for an agreement. Did you say yes? Here, just review what their statement overall, because I'm sure either you have a very fixed memory or you actually write it down, and then you try to implement overall the agreement, and then find out how you can avoid such conflict in future, because we are here to see it once and for all. Once it becomes repetitive, that is where you most likely will need to change your style, and either for the better or for the worse. Next slide, please. So accommodating, like these are the pro and the cons against an accommodating. Like there's only so much you can accommodate people, but at the same time, as leadership, what kind of reputation comes with you? I know reputation should not be a priority overall, but at the same time, it kind of is, because people will then have that prejudice mindset, whether you like it or not. we're just prejudiced by nature. So we're just going to have that prejudice in mind. Well, last time this happened and this is how they reacted, and I wasn't so pleased about it. But at the same time, you'll never be able to please everybody. And now this is the accommodating. I would like Mr. Cecilia and Mr. Clement, now that you've seen the positive and the negative of accommodating, and actually point you out because you actually choose, like you lead more on towards this kind of style. What do you think now that I'm actually showing you the pros and the cons that comes with it? Who wants to go first? Mr. Clement or Cecilia?
I'm lost here. Pause me a bit, please. I'm not in with you just now.
Sorry?
I say, I'm lost here. I'm not in with you just now. Can you pass me along a bit?
Okay. Cecilia?
Then you can be able to solve the problem. Definitely. In a nutshell, conflict styles in accommodating others for you to know what is.
You're clear. You've been clear on this. Thank you very much. Mr.
Yes,
Hello? Mr. Hello, could you please unmute yourself? I see your hand is up.
Okay, I would like to touch on that topic of conflict style, but I would rather go for, let me say, the collaborating.
Okay, so that's going to be the last one. So I'm just going to tell you to wait until we get to the collaborative one. Is that okay? Okay, so next slide, please. So the avoiding. So giving people time to calm down and solve a surprising amount of issue. Time and space can give much needed perspective to those in conflict, and some issues will solve themselves. Managers show that they trust employees to act like an adult and solve the issue. Do anybody have any say on this kind of conflict style? Anybody at all? Or am I just spoken style and co?
Just a quick one from me. Like I think I mentioned in terms of when I do use these different kinds of styles of conflict, if you avoid, there must be a good reason for doing that. For example, if you under the the prawns, the good time to use the avoidance is when tempers are still high. You do not want to quickly engage into a conversation in order to resolve any conflict. Let people calm down indeed, and then you can come in and they try to get the issue resolved. So there's no casting stone in these styles. That's all I can say.
No, absolutely, absolutely. I agree with you. I agree with you. So is it only Mr. Misas that has something to say about the avoiding style? Anyone else? Mr. Hussein, are you now in a much quieter place for you to speak? Silence means no. Okay. I'll proceed into the next style, which is, next slide, please. Should be the compromising. So when we compromise, so I went too forward. Slide back. Thank you very much. So compromise. We love this word, compromise. This is the sweet spot of the win-win. So just as we've actually followed the steps of, okay, now everyone is relaxed, or they have enough time to choose their own perspective. Now, what do we do? Do we go left? Do we go right? Or we go to the middle and we make sure that next time, whenever we get to this bridge, we already have a resolution? Do anybody have any say? Do you like it? Do you don't like it? Why you don't like it, or why you like it? Oh, I see that Ms. Katrina just arrived. Would you please just discuss about this kind of conflict style? Any of your own objective or thoughts around it? Katrina? Katrina, are you with us? Okay, Mr. Lucia? Mr. Clement, please come forward. The floor is yours. Mr. Clement McDonald, the floor is yours.
Oh, yes, I'm saying we have to agree to disagree. And I think that is a main area of understanding and leadership. We don't have the same opinion. And we have to learn to coordinate and to monitor and bring those opinions together. That's a leader, I think. I don't want to say much, but I'm trying to understand what you are saying.
No, all I ask is, do you agree with this leadership style? Do you disagree with this leadership style?
Yes, that's what I'm saying, yeah.
Oh, okay. That's all I asked. Thank you very much. And Mr. Vino, I see your hand is up.
Yeah, I must agree, because when the two parts came together, just like as my fellow comments say, disagree. We always have this disagree to agree and agree to disagree. Is what my contribution. Thank you.
No, absolutely. Thank you very much. Mr. Rufaro, please feel free to unmute yourself. I've not heard your voice, so it will be really great.
Yeah, it's actually Miss.
Oh, Miss. I'm so apologies. I was struggling as well. So apologies,
No, it's
Miss.
fine.
Floor is yours.
Yeah, I think I'm actually getting now where it's coming from. So I'm actually agreeing with the issues of compromise and collaboration, because you have to compromise, collaborate, and you map the way forward. In this case, issues are resolved not easily, but they're ideally violence by diplomacy. Yeah, that's all I have to say. So I'm agreeing with this issue of compromise and collaboration.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm glad this time we had more people speaking up about it. And next slide, please, should be the competing. So competing style. Well, this is when we'll be like, I'm the strongest. No, you're the strong, no, I'm the strongest. So this competing style is pretty much a lose-lose, because the principle is not like, we actually forget the objective of the dispute itself. Dispute can be solved quickly on this because you compete, but we are competing intellectually. So most times, especially related to UPAM, it's pretty much intellectual. It's not physical. If it's physical, well, that is done and it will make sense. But within management, it's a lose-lose situation. And in that case, to what extent are people willing to go to show that they are the strongest of all or the most knowledgeable of all? So there are like limitations at the same time that are mostly negative than positive, unless it's physical. But on that, Mr. Francis, would you be keen to actually tell us your thought about it? Mr. Francis Kishala?
Oh, I thought, sorry, I thought you have another Francis. I'm called by ambassador. That is my official title.
Well, over here, you're comrade, so we don't really care if you're an ambassador. You're comrade like anyone else. So, Mr. Francis, what do you think about?
Oh, yeah, but about because I've just joined the. I'm just figuring. I don't know the topic and the what.
Okay, so the topic right now
can you highlight?
We're talking about conflict styles. So we are not talking about competing style, which is mostly either intellectual or physical. Maybe it will be like, I am the strongest, so I am right. So I am right. That's why I deserve to be heard more than anyone else within this conflict. So do you tend to lean towards this kind of conflict, or you tend to listen to both sides and you're not really into the competing style of conflict? Yeah, that is the question.
So do you mean the conflict should be within the organization or outside the organization?
Well, this training here is for so within the organization, but it can also be outside. So we're just like training.
Okay. Okay. The way I feel, conflict resolution styles should be both the two-way side, two ways. It should be A and B to be heard. Okay. Not only single-handedly brings a lot of confusions and a lot of trouble. Should be A versus B when it to conflict resolutions. Both sides should sit tete-a-tete, facing each other, not adversaries, but as friends, sorting out the problems. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay. I like your way of thinking. Next slide, please. The most attended conflict style so far has been the most collaborative, which everyone lives happy, which is the win-win resolution, a solution that actually solves the problem of the conflict and is found, and the manager who implement the tactic will be seen as skilled. So time and time again, this is what we are all looking for, that we are all happy with the resolution, and we actually tend to praise the leader. And but the column that no one ever talk about that might be time consuming. But that also depends on the conflict itself. Might have deadlines to reach, and sometimes might actually delay plans that people have overall. So who actually was keen about the collaborative style? I think that was Mr. Luamba. Please correct me if I'm wrong.
Sorry, madam, I didn't follow you. I was doing something here about
Oh, no.
attendance.
No, you were actually talking about the collaborative style earlier. Is that right? Was it you? But what do you think about the collaborative?
I think it was me, Titila. So
okay, please come forward. Please come forward. Come forward.
Sure. I talked about this because I actually mentioned it's the outcome at the end is more acceptable by both parties, because you're trying to find common ground for both. But as the cons, it really might take time for everybody to come out happy to say, okay, I think this suits actually both of us and we are good to go. And also the other challenge is that it really requires a leader who is really adept in terms of conflict resolution. It's not for everybody.
That's absolutely, I totally agree. Like with in a workplace, normally before you actually get to a collaborative agreement, like at least where I'm from, it takes round about 10 weeks to get to this kind of resolution. So I totally understand. And Mr. Vino, I see that you're up. Please share your thoughts. Are you on mute? So would anyone do anyone want to share their thought about this collaborative? If I'm not wrong, it was actually Miss Zufaro. Miss Zufaro?
Yes.
Earlier, did you say anything about the collaborative?
Yes, I did.
Yes. And why do you appreciate this style?
Like it said, it leaves everybody happy. Conflicts are resolved, because the moment when people do not collaborate, there is no communication. And how do you resolve conflict as a leader when you do not interact with people? It's really impossible. And also we are talking of issues of dictatorship, whereby you make it a totalitarian and authoritarian kind of an organization. It cannot thrive. It cannot prosper, because there is no interaction between the leader and those being led. So collaboration is good because it gives room for communication. You map the way forward and everything becomes resolved.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for your thoughts. And now the conflict and the leadership training is sorted. Ben, it's now up to you to take over. Can you hear me?
I just wanted to say something. Excuse me, Madam Moderator.
Sure. It's yours.
Yeah, I just want to highlight something here.
Okay.
Whenever conflicts come into place, what we should remember as members, we are not enemies. We should look at the problem as the core enemy and not the people. Let us sit as friends facing the problem, not facing each other, so that we sort the problem out, not sorting out people. We should sort out the problem. When we do that, we are going to inculcate what I describe as a spirit of a principled negotiation strategy. Thank you.
No, absolutely. Thank you very much for your contribution. Mr. Vino, is your hand up or you'd like to say something? Or is just your hand stuck up?
Yeah, madam, I just only want to add for my previous speaker that, as you say, you can face the conflict, not the people. As other people say, let us play the ball, not play the person. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Ben, can you hear me? Nice out here. It's just that now Ben should be able to take over because he has to finish up the slides. Is he with you at the moment?
I can see that Mr. Ben, the chairperson, global chairperson, is not ready.
It's not.
Maybe as well. Yeah, if I can intervene, madam. Yeah, if I can intervene.
Yes, feel free. Feel free.
Thank you. Let me thank you for the methodology that you have used for this lesson. It's wonderful, wonderful. Now, I think that I would like to remind us about what we have learned today. This will help us as leaders, as representatives, executives, deputy executives, general or national secretaries. We have been given definitions about leadership, types of leaderships, advantages and disadvantages of the different types of leadership. We talked about leadership in a conflict. This is about how to solve problem peacefully. We were given the conflict styles, what can be done during a conflict, and we were given the pro and the cons. Now it's up to us to choose the best type of leadership which suits better for the duties and the responsibility that we have as executives and as representatives in furthering UPAM aim and objectives. We'll be facing conflicts while implementing our duties and responsibilities, while implementing some projects in our countries or in our various departments. So we should choose the best way of solving the problem that we are going to, let me say, to solve or to make the mediation. So my question is this. Please, madam, allow me to put this question for different comrade to react. Amongst the types of leadership, which is or what is the best type of leadership? 1. 2, amongst the conflict styles, what is the best style of resolving conflict peacefully? in our chapters or according to our duties and responsibilities. Thank you.
Mr. Luamba, one thing I fail to understand is that question directed to myself, or is that question directed to comrades that are present at the moment?
The question I put for the comrade to react.
Oh, okay. Okay. So, comrade, feel free to unmute yourself and express your thoughts very much. Yes, Mr. Francis.
Correct. Thank you. I would like to belabor the philosophy of oneness vis-a-vis the problem in question. Number one, the question of leadership is about maturity. When a leader is mature enough, is able to exhibit leadership of high quality, regardless of what class of people is leading in an organization. Number two, a leader should exhibit what I call a principled way of approaching certain issues, meaning that if there is a conflict in an organization, there is a need for a leader to be sober-minded, listening, aggregating issues slowly but surely, thereby creating a platform which is very free and conducive for each and every participant thereof. If at all we approach in this manner, I rest assure you that our organization shall be a heaven on earth, where each and every member shall look at each other as a friend and not an enemy. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Francis. But I feel that you kind of not understood the gist that we were talking about, because as Mr. Luamba said, we actually went through from a definition. We don't give you what definition is. It's pretty much what you as a person define leadership overall, then going through different styles and different conflicts. And I feel that you just came through the end of the conflict, but altogether, we do appreciate your thoughts put together. So before we actually conclude with the training today, because this call has now been going through almost 2 hours, do anybody have any final thoughts, any final say that you would like to contribute right now before we close the room? Please just unmute yourself and say it. Yes, Mr. Luamba.
Thank you, Madam, for the floor once again. The lesson was wonderful, but I would like to complain. Let me use this word, to complain about the attendance. Now, let me give a report about attendance. I see a comrade representative of Uganda, comrade representative of Jamaica, comrade representative of Namibia, comrade representative of Sierra Leone, comrade representative of Egypt, comrade representative of these countries, comrade Naomi Sewela is from which country? I forget here.
Botswana. Botswana.
Botswana. Yeah, Botswana. I see Comrade Helao Ntakonja representing Namibia. So I see Vaino there and also Helao. I see Comrade Mazaza. I don't know, maybe he's the deputy or secretary.
No, he's the new.
A given chapter. Yeah. As I can see here, I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 countries or chapters represented, while there are around 30 chapters within UPAM and around the world. So I would like to remind the comrade representative that such an event, trainings, are beneficial for us, not for the trainers, not for the organizers, the executive board, not for the global chairperson. Let me grab this opportunity to thank the executive board for organizing this event. For me, sir, I learned most of things, and let me say
Luamba, Mr. Luamba, you just went mute. I think is.
And a lot of things.
Mr. Luamba, are you with me? I think he has a problem with his internet. Well, Mr. Clement, well said. But this vision is crucial to such event. I agree as well. Mr. Clement, please take the floor. Yep.
Yeah, I would. It seems like his network is better out. I do want to add just 2 words, and that may help us to all to be more to the present, representative to the present. And that is, we should understand that representatives are volunteers, and we should try to institute some tiny businesses, as Mr. Luamba has done in the refugee camps. And that will help us to finance, representative to finance their chapter. And so doing, help UPAM to develop. Thank you.
Mr. Clement, I totally agree with you. But if even when we ask to write a report, looks like a struggle. I don't know what else you could do.
There's a time issue there. There's a time issue involved there.
There's no time issue, sir. Because the way I see it, there's no time issue involved. Because if we are
I think so, because people have to fend for themselves, and they have family to take care of. They have.
Mr. Clement, do forgive me, but I'm not finished with what I'm saying. Because what I'm saying is, we're asking, do you need any training? Please come forward. Like this particular training was actually being requested by Mr. Kamara and Miss Naomi. They were the only 2 people that actually came through forward and said, yes, we need this training, and hence why we're here. And if it's for the project, come through the project, write down a report saying, this is the project. If you don't write it, you don't tell us, we don't know. Remember, at the end of the day, we're humans just like everyone else. We don't read minds. We don't read minds.
You're saying it's a communication problem here.
It's a very much communication problem, because if you don't speak, we don't know. Mr. Luamba came through, said, listen, there's this project to do. We did not say no. We said, please bring it forward. If you can help, it's part of UPAM. We contributed, and he actually brought us receipts. He sent us pictures, he sent a receipt, everything. It's pure transparency. But this is things that has to be documented. You have to say it. You have to show us. You have to just break it down, because remember, at the end of the day, you're the one in Jamaica. I'm in the UK. I am clueless of what is going on in Africa. If you tell me how to do one, I wouldn't know where to start from. But if you actually present it to us, hey, why not?
Yeah. The ground, the matter with you on the ground. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no worries. Mr. Vino, please come forward. Mr. Vino?
Yes, madam. For me, I just only also have a complaint. I'm not really complaining, maybe just like to be encourage our representative and also fellow comrades who are really interested for UPAM so that we can be representing Africa. Because I see, I don't know, especially the youth, they are not really dedicated and commitment. I don't know whether they are there's something people going to be paid. As we do these things, what we do now here is just like voluntarily, we are volunteer to do. And then I don't know how we can do, what solution we can going to find so that we can going to accommodate of like now with this meeting, this training, we find only a few people as a community one complaining. I don't know how we can going to convince these people, how we're going to be sanitizing them so that they can understanding. Because really we used to be change our mentality of this African mentality. We sorry to say this word, black people, because now we still have this mentality of whatever what we do, we only need something. People need something. Maybe I think even Namibia, I was recruiting a lot of people, but sooner or later, some of them they said there is no productivity. What can I gain there? You know, I don't know whether these people understanding. We used to be committed because sometimes I'm sorry for doing this. Maybe I'm too much expressed. You find this youth they have like a condition to be on social media anyway. But when we came for these things, very important things, they are not to be want to engage really to be interested to anyway to be joined full. Sometimes they are complaining about data. I know what internet is so poor and what and what. But I don't know which way we guys going to find so that we can be sanitize these people so that they will come. It's only this my like complaint, but anyway, thank you.
So, Mr. Vino, I found it a two-way string because I remember there'll be same people that will be posting, whether on Instagram or Facebook, will be the same people that will be complaining that they don't have enough data, but yet they are on social media on a daily basis. And in terms of participation and all, I feel that you need to do more work on yourself, to be honest, because on your group, they're pretty active, but you're not present. And I say this to say that I've actually observed Namibia, and they've actually had meetings that I was not aware of and actually crashed it, but it actually still continued, but you were not present. So I feel that more than other people encouragement, I feel that you should see within yourself if you're actually fit to be within leadership overall.
Mm-hmm.
And so far, what vision or what kind of project can you bring forward? Otherwise, if you don't start and you don't have the motivation to start, what gives you the motivation to continue and to finish the project overall? If you seek me to be calling you on a daily basis, I'm sorry, I won't be able to be calling you on a daily basis. You should be able to stand on your 2 feet, because just like you, everyone has like their daily struggles that they deal with on a daily basis. So if you're looking for someone to be on the phone, oh, you can do this, you can do this, you can do that, you should question yourself and reevaluate what kind of skills you lack that we can help you. What skills do you think that should be within your group? It could be that someone from a different group can help within the Namibia group, because we had Patrina, and Patrina, she's doing amazing. She's a then politician, and you're telling me that you're lacking. Is it the idea that are lacking, or with the collaboration are lacking, or the project within Namibia, they are non-existent? Now, that is something that needs initiative and participation overall. You're either able to do it or you cannot do it. Until you come and ask, what is it that we can help you to do? I'm sorry, I don't know how to help you. But I cannot inject the encouragement and motivation through phone and Zoom. That's just not human.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely. Mr. Francis.
Thank you, moderator.
Absolutely. How can I help?
I would like to salute you for organizing this auspicious event. I salute the leadership because even though I have come late, from what I have deduced from the deliberations, I can foresee that we are setting a very powerful world page. So what I would like to submit to you is kindly, can you scale up the time schedule for the training so that it is explicitly communicated through our platforms so that we are well informed, not to be taken as if we should be ambushed at short notice.
How short notice is this, sir? Like this has been in the doing since last year, November, like December, November. And then we also informed last week. So the question is, do you read your messages when they're sent to you on WhatsApp? How often do you read them? And are you present within the events? Because we talked about it even yesterday. So yesterday, 7 days ago, and last year. So I more than that, we don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, just let me finish what I was trying to say. The only problem that I've seen is I'm not part of this department because I requested the chair that I should be an ex official and not part of the department. Now, since I've seen the fruitfulness of this, I would rather be part of this department because I know it is aggregating very sensible elements that can also instill certain degree of civility in the leadership.
Okay, I think this is going to be a conversation for another day, but not today. I'll keep that in mind, and I'm also going to tell Ben about it. So
yeah, you haven't had Madam. Are you going to add me to the same department or not? That is what I wanted to hear.
Oh, okay. Well, you're not a representative, so you're in the admin. So why do you want to be added into the representative?
Only representatives should be part of this.
No, this is for everybody. This link was sent. This link was sent to the representative and it was sent to the executive. But the purpose of the training was mostly for the representative. That is why you don't see many people from the executive. So this was sent to everybody. So there's no specific group. It's not. This is not a department. This is like.
Me, I thought it's a conflict resolutions department. It is just a training shop.
This is a training for everybody. This is for everybody.
Okay.
So if I may jump in there real quick, sorry, I have a little background noise.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Ambassador, so the thing is, this is actually for countries representatives, so not for executive members, and you are an executive member, so not a representative. If you were to represent Zambia, that would be different, you know, but we already have, people
Oh, yeah.
from Zambia.
I see.
Except your
Oh, I
job
see.
role requires. Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Yeah, except your job role requires that you communicate with the representative, then yes, you could have access to the representative forum. So that's how it's coordinated. So if you were like you're selected to be part of the conflict, but you said you want to be X. So you are part of the education department of education. So
Yes.
yes, so that's in the global level. That's the executive global level. So not national level. If that makes sense.
Thank you
very much, Ben.
Noted.
Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
I also wanted to ask, I know we've been here for like 3 hours already. Do we? No, 2 hours pretty much. So do we want to keep going because this is the most exciting slides, or we want to leave the last segment for another day?
I think it's now 13 people left. So Ben, it's all up to you.
I want everybody's opinion. Do we want to do this, or we want to just schedule the last segment for maybe next week? I want people's opinion on it. Anybody? Why is everyone quiet? Like, are you even hearing me?
So it seems that we are catching you difficultly.
Yeah. And I feel that it's best that we get it done by next week. I think after 2 hours, that could be quite hefty.
Yeah, we intended that this should be, I know it's a training, so it needs time. So let's do the last segment for next week, Saturday. I don't think we have a history class on Saturday, but I'll double check. We'll announce it maybe Saturday or Sunday. In as much as we have the global meeting next Sunday. So we'll look into it, make sure that it doesn't interfere with the global meeting. Especially the global meeting might be long as well because it's the first one for the year. So we might maybe do it in the next 2 weeks, not next weekend. But we'll discuss it later on and then figure it out together. I see there's a hand up.
And Mr. Weiner, the floor is yours.
Yeah, madam, my question is, are we going to still have this training every Sunday, or are we going to change it?
No, it's not going to be on Sunday, but we might do it on Saturday because we're going to resume. We did it today because yesterday we had that history class yesterday, so we couldn't do it yesterday. So we'll do it on the Saturday. I hope that's okay with you all, so that on Sunday we can have our global meeting as usual.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, except anybody disagree on it because
correct.
The
Yeah,
last,
I think
the last
Saturday.
segment is the most the most exciting one. So this is where we're gonna be looking at more into how can we empower ourselves in the various countries to become more successful.
Chair, so next Saturday there is also the second history class. So what time will this now training happen on the same Saturday?
Yeah, we normally stay the same time, like today. So we try not to make people confused a lot with the time zone. So it will be the same time as we did today.
Okay. So then from this training, then we proceed to the history class at 8.
We'll make sure that it doesn't interfere with the history class. So because the history class, we have a lot of people here that also participate in that class. So we will make sure that we have it if it's that it doesn't interfere with that. We don't want to have people have a lot of time, on training or class, and then become too tired. You know what I mean? So
sure.
Yeah, so we want to make sure it's exciting and not too long, not too short as well. So we'll have it a Saturday that doesn't have the history class.
Okay.
Why you cannot, Mr. Chair, why you cannot separate, maybe make 2 Saturday here and 2 Saturday there?
Yeah, that's why I'm saying that I have to look at the schedule for the history class. I don't believe we have that this Saturday. If we don't, we can choose to have it this Saturday. It's up to you all, you know. I don't have a problem with that. I can be there Saturday and Sunday. But will you all be able to do Saturday and then do Sunday on general meeting? Because this global meeting for Sunday is going to be probably 3 hours, you know, at least.
Okay.
Okay, so any last words? Anybody?
Yeah, so we'll call it off today and then regroup, you know, for next Saturday.
Comrade, thank you everyone for being here, for coming, and for staying here for at least 2 hours and 20 minutes with us. I hope this training was useful and fruitful, and hopefully applied during your leadership. That's all from me. Ben?
So I would like, as we go, I would like us to go back to the forum and then give your feedback. If you think this was productive, the first segment, and then if you think that it wasn't, give us, you know, why you think it wasn't and ways we can improve, so that when we come in next Saturday to do the last segment, we can make some modifications that will be more. I want to get feedback. The first segment. All right.
Okay, you were breaking up a bit, but we got the gist of it. So thank you everyone. Do not forget to leave us your feedback.
Mr. Benny?
Yep.
And Ms. Tila, please, can we left out behind, please? I want to talk to you, if it's possible.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
So everybody else can exit then.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Thank you for being here.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.